Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Raising Vibration Radio. I'm your host, Reverend Raven, and joining me tonight is the astonishing, amazing career woman and also psychic and creator, artist, Rachel Love. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Wow, I'm impressed with my own titles.
Well, I'm really impressed with what you've done. I mean, you're a pretty amazing woman in yourself, you're a pretty strong woman. You've gone out and done everything you wanted to do in life, right?
Well, pretty much, yeah. Well, we can all do that, though. That's what I try to tell people. It's no special gift or anything. If you want it, you can manifest it, if that's what you really want. But what happens most of the time is we're not sure what we want. So then we're not sure what we want. We're not surely going to get what we want out of life either, are we? We're going to get somewhere in between.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know you from another friend that we met before you moved over to the other coast. Here in St. Petersburg, and it was a synchronistic meeting that we had. And I feel very privileged and honored that you allowed me to stay connected with you since you moved over to the other side. But tell everybody a little bit about you.
Let's see. I'm in my 60s now. I retired at 45. When I was younger, I wanted to do a lot of different things, and so I was trying to balance working and family and doing what I wanted to do when I was younger, but that's really difficult to do. And so I struggled. But about 30, I realized I need to make some sort of plan if I was going to make this work. I just can't keep coasting every day and hoping it'll turn around, change different. So at 30, I remember quite clearly now sitting there at my birthday cake thinking, all right, I got to make this work. I got to figure out what I want to do. So I thought that night, and I come up with an idea that I should be able to retire like at 45. Then I can go full-time into ministry or whatever I wanted to do and then make it easier. So I just kind of buckled down, and for the next 15 years, everything I did kind of aimed towards that ability to be able to retire and not have to work and be able to do what I wanted to do. So I would say, some people say it's manifesting what you want, and I would say it's maybe set a goal and was able to focus. So something came up that didn't go along with what I was trying to aim at, then I wouldn't do it. Of course, you make mistakes. Like I can't always pass an ice cream parlor without stopping by, even though I know the ice cream is probably not going to help my diet any. So there are, of course, mistakes in it, but I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to accomplish at the time, and it worked. And it wasn't easy, especially towards the end. That's what usually happens, though. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people say they want to go and they want to do this, want to do that, and they get sick right beforehand, and it doesn't work out, or some kind of financial crisis comes and doesn't work out. And that's, in my world, that means that you really weren't sure that's what you wanted to do. And it's another test. But I went ahead and followed through. And at 45, I wasn't working anymore, so I can do what I wanted to do. And one of the first things I started doing was kind of helping some people out. I started working on, I started with the church type group and working there. And I was working with the homeless shelter for a little bit, and looking at things and watching things and trying to use the gifts that I had. But it became rather clear pretty quickly that I would have to probably kind of go out on my own to do what I wanted to do, because it's really difficult sometimes to put on a suit or a dress that doesn't quite fit you well, but somebody else made for you.
Right.
So I kind of went off and said, okay, I'll just kind of go by the spirit, go by the flow. And I said I can go on a long time, but I ended up passing through a place which I never thought I would be at, and that would be Arkansas, and visiting a friend there. And I just kind of felt like I should be here, which was weird, because I would never in 1,000 years think, I'm going to go from LA to Arkansas in the mountains. I think that'd be a good idea. Let's go to the Ozarks. But I said, well, if it's supposed to be, there'll be a sign or something. So I moved on and kept on going. And I think a few months later, I got a phone call. Hey, I got a place to rent. You want to rent it? Damn it. I guess that's the open door. So
wow.
There. And when I got there, I go, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Why am I here? So I looked around and walked around and visited stuff. And I thought, what a beautiful place. It's really beautiful. I should probably share the beauty with a positive message. So I started creating this little magazine, where I take pictures with my camera, and then I'd go ahead and put them in a magazine, and I would take some happy, uplifting words and put it as underneath it, and some positive reinforcement type verses and phrases. And I put together this little magazine full of beautiful pictures of the surrounding area. And I was managed to set it at laundromats, different places. And eventually I got some in churches that were going to be put on the back page, that they would like to be listed as a place if somebody's looking for some spiritual help. And I did that for a while. And that's kind of pricey. And with time, I realized it might be a more effective way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I started putting ads in the newspaper, and that way it reached more people. And the cost was really not much different. It wasn't as much fun because I didn't take as many pictures, but still it took one good picture and made a full ad type thing in it. It did the same thing. Being the Bible Belt type area, I had to call it a ministry. So it's Rachel Love Ministry. And I was just busy doing that. And then eventually I had a chance to speak at some different places. And it led to join the Minister Alliance. And so I started doing that. And I spoke at a bunch of different churches. And then I thought, I had a dream. And the dream said, you need to go on the radio. And I was thinking, I don't even listen to radio. But the dream came 3 days in a row, 3 nights in a row. So I figured, well, that must be, I need to pay attention to that. So I went looking for the radio station. I found it up on a hill on a dirt road. And I knocked on the door and I said, I had this dream. I have a dream. I'm supposed to share some happy, uplifting messages on the radio to help people. And I thought I would hire somebody because the way my voice sounds and stuff. And the guy there says, now I remember Bible Belt, he said, well, God gave you the message. He knows what you sound like. So let's use your own voice. Oh, I don't know if that's such a good idea.
What is wrong with your voice? There's nothing wrong with your voice.
Oh, I always thought it was too deep and too rough sounding and stuff, but it turns out I was wrong. I was on the radio for a couple of years and bringing messages, and I started doing commercials for the sponsoring some commercials for some of the local business people to encourage business, and also some churches. And I did a women's conference, and I helped raise some money for a Catholic monastery that burned down, and I went to city council. And eventually I thought, the best way to share this message was to get more involved in politics, which hindsight wasn't such a great idea. But I decided to run for mayor. So when I decided to run for mayor, I had to kind of focus some more on that stuff. Plus we had to get some details about my life, and because they're going to find everything they can on you. So best way to be is just come up and say, hey, here I am. This is who I am, and get interviewed by different people. Even NPR came by and interviewed me for a little bit. I lost really badly, but I would say, I think they must have about 10 people decide to run for mayor after I decided to run for mayor. It became the fashionable thing to do. But it did give some platforms that I might not normally have gotten a chance to talk to. I mean,
right.
In the debate with other mayor candidates at City Hall, how likely is that going to happen in a normal situation? Had a chance to go to the mayor's ball and all the different political stuff, and the Rotary Club. I was pretty involved in the Rotary Club. So a lot of things happened because of that. And I shared the message. And after I lost, my mission was over. Yeah. So I moved to Oklahoma. Okay.
Wow.
Commercial break. I just covered a few years real quick, from 30 to 50.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. So you were doing these broadcasting for, for churches, but I mean, you're psychic, are you not?
Yes. Well, the thing about the churches, they're all good if you're a prophetess or something.
Oh,
and
okay.
If you use the right language, it's okay. It's the same thing, but it's all about how you frame it or the words you use, which is a shame. We're so worried about things that, we have to, God can do this, but God can't do it this way. He can't do it. If you're wearing a black hat, he can't do it. Only wear a white hat. Oh. In fact, I was at this church early on, and it was a Pentecostal type church, and they did homeless stuff. And I met some people there that were prophetess of this church. It was a Pentecostal church, which was kind of fun. And people come up, and then these prophets would speak to them and encourage them, and sort of thing, So I sit there and watch this, and I'm sitting in the front row with my friend who was married to a prophet, so she's a prophetess. And I hear in my head this dialogue in my head. And I say to her, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this conversation. Maybe you can have your husband go over and talk to them. And this is what I'm hearing the voices in my head saying was going on and what might help. So she'd tell her old man, he'd go over and do the prayer thing and talk to him as a prophetess. And he came up one time after a while and asked his wife how come she got so good at this all of a sudden. And she confessed that I was telling her what I was hearing and she's just sharing it. So that got to the leadership and they wanted to know if I'd be a prophetess at their church and their denomination. And they were real excited, but they had this rule that I had to be married because they had to have a man for headship. And I go, I don't think so. Well, we got all these men. So I got a whole bunch of these 45-year-olds and older from the homeless ministry that I should just pick the one I wanted. And that way I would meet the requirements and I can go on and be successful in their denomination. I go, no, I don't think so. No, thanks. So in that world, you can be a prophetess or you can be a psychic or something as long as you were married and used the right language.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? But
That is just, wow. Is it still like that today?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. I was tell you early on also, I started a little church trying to make something different. So I rented this building and I thought I'd try to make a community church, something a little bit more open and free.
Mm-hmm.
And some other churches wanted to join up and acknowledge what I was doing and stuff. And started hanging with another church, a denomination church. Some of the people had friends over there and I invited them over Sunday night. And I realized that was kind of a struggling little church. And so I said, I'm thinking about moving on and getting on the road and doing some more stuff. So what if I just give you this church to this denomination people, So they sent them in over in their suits and talked with me. And I offered a building. It was just a rental, but it was a building that had remodeled. It had pews. It had a PA system. It had an organ, lighting and all the stuff, and quite a pretty good sized congregation. Well, the silly boys decided that was great, except I wouldn't be able to speak to them no more because I wasn't part of their denomination. If I ever come back again, I don't expect to be able to speak. I go, it's okay. But I visited like 7-8 years later, passing through town. I stopped and visited. And lo and behold, they didn't have somebody up there that looked real similar to me. In fact, they had decided to put everything I shared and become part of their doctrine. It was really weird to see that all these years went by and they didn't change anything. It was still the same as
wow. That is wild. So you left Arkansas, you went out to Oklahoma, right?
Yeah. Minnesota. I went to Minnesota for a little bit. And then I was in North Carolina for a little bit. I was in Oklahoma for a little bit. North Carolina, that was quite a nice trip. But yes, Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, I decided that I was going to give up on the church world. It just really wasn't working. I'm just going to go ahead and do the more of the psychic stuff. So I was doing some stuff online, and I was going to this bookstore that I found, and I was interested in getting some stuff. So I bought a few things there. I had some readings done by some of the ladies that work there, and we've become kind of friends. And one day I was there visiting, and they offered me a chance to practice there.
Mm-hmm.
I go, Again, I was thinking, don't you want an interview or something? They said, so we know you from the internet. We know you can do this. So, oh, what the hell? Okay, sure. So I show up my deck of cards, and they give me the room to go back in, and people come in, and you get, I think, $40 out of $45 or something if somebody comes in and wants something. So I hung around the bookstore, and I learned a few things from some other ladies and stuff, and I had a really good time. It was kind of fun. I said, oh, this works. Eventually get, the right kind of outfit for it, get a black dress and stuff. Well, I wish I would. Anyway, so my little tarot deck was kind of fun because it kind of lifts itself up at you. The other girls, they went through a lot of training and they've learned all this stuff. And I go, I don't know. Mine just kind of pop up at me and sort of speak for themselves. It's really kind of weird. So that was different. And it was kind of fun to have some other shops and stuff come by and visit and check me out and stuff, So
were you using your tarot deck that you create? You weren't using that.
No, yet. that was later on.
Okay.
I used one. Darn it! I wish I remembered it had a show. I would go get my tarot deck. If you do a commercial, I go get it, and I can show you some cards. You do commercials?
Okay. Yeah. I don't do commercials, but I can right now put you back in regular stream. I like to show people your tarot cards that I have a copy of.
Oh, yeah.
So I put them up here on the screen. But you can go get some of your tarot decks if you want
Yeah.
to.
Let me talk about that. See the picture of the back of the card with the red and blue?
Yes.
That's like a self-portrait. I painted that.
That is amazing.
And I painted that and I had it up on the wall for a while. And I thought that'd make it, well, let me go get the cards.
Go get the cards.
Basically, this deck was created because, again, I couldn't sleep 3 nights in a row. The dream kept saying, make a tarot deck. And I said, what do I know about making a tarot deck? Right. They got plenty of tarot decks out there, but it wouldn't leave me alone. So I got up that one night and went on my little laptop here and started making a tarot deck. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Might be kind of fun.
Yes, it will be. So Rachel's going to go grab her tarot deck so that she can show you what she's been using. But these are when I met Rachel through another friend, she happened to have this deck that she just created in 2019 on her, with her. And we were sitting in a restaurant, we're talking, and she pulls them out, and I was just amazed by her creativity and the childlikeness of it all. But you really got good energy from holding the cards. So Rachel, being the sweetheart that she is, she gave me a whole deck of these cards, and I have them still today. And I'm just so fascinated with them.
Well, I've the church I've been speaking at, the Unity Church, I've done some meditation, lots of meditation, different things. And I gave the pastor there a deck, and then another woman was visiting. She's speaking, so I gave her a deck. So I don't have that deck with me right now. RachelLoveTarot.com. You can buy the deck. But that was really a lot of fun. Oh, Lordy. At the same time, though, I really wanted to sleep,
Right. But the spirit was bothering you for 3 days to get that done.
Right. And I'm kind of goal oriented in the first place. If there's something I should be doing, I'm going to do it hell or high water. That's how I am. If I'm determined that I'm going to do it for whatever reason, then I'm going to do it. I don't give up easy. But the first time I started making it more traditional, I just basically kind of copied off the non-copyrighted version and put my picture in the back, called it, okay, there you go. Tarot deck. Right. Went to bed, woke back up again. Seriously, let me get some sleep. And so the next day I was thinking about it. All right, so I'll use the painting. I'll take a picture of the painting. Then I had to go online. I had to create all these different symbols and stuff that came to me, and I drew them out on using my finger on the little thing here. Didn't use a mouse. I used my laptop, and I drew them all out by hand on the computer, and then put them on a program that makes cards, makes a tarot deck. And when I got them out and hand them out, they have the energy on their own too. So I did what I was supposed to do, and they work really well. Everybody who's given to us really enjoyed them.
Oh,
You enjoyed it?
I do. Every once in a while I have a question. I am certain of the answer. It pops the answer out, and it's right every time. So
yeah, it pops up at you too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, here's a traditional deck. This is the first deck I ever bought, the ghost deck. I bought it at a store, and they didn't even know they had it, so I had to go online and figure out what it cost. And I went by and I was touching all the different cards. That's what I do. I touch them and feel them, and it felt good. So I go, that's interesting. But they're really kind of scary. They got scary things on them, tell stories.
Oh, that's nice.
And so they're done in fables and stuff,
Oh, wow.
Fables. So this is the fun deck.
Wow, that is fun.
But what I noticed about it the very first time, because before, I just know it's kind of weird. I just know. In fact, I was doing some channeling at this therapy place in Tulsa, where people would come in and want to talk to their past loved ones that died recently. And so I would just hear it in my head. I just share it with them. But I was thinking that sometimes people need something more. And so the therapist worked there suggested that I do tarot. Well, okay, I never done tarot, but okay. So I got a tarot deck, and then the cards would just kind of pop up and lift up. It kind of went with what I was saying. Oh, so here's the deck, plain deck. You take the deck. Let's see, make this go a little bit lower. You take the deck here. I'm not used to make it that high, but let's see. Hold on. Okay, if I want to ask a question, or I want to know something, I'm not going to ask any question. I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to see which card lifts up. So far it comes to be around here someplace. This is the right card. It will come at me.
Okay.
The right card.
Yeah.
See, it's coming at me.
Wow.
So this is the card I'm supposed to speak on, and here it is, the King of Swords.
Wow. Meaning you think too much.
Well, you can look at it that way, but what it really saying is that this is my interpretation of what I'm hearing. We have a tendency to try to do things man's way. So here is, I should get my glasses. That is the king, isn't it? Or is it the knight? Hold on. I am in my 60s. Yep, king. King of Swords. So king of your thoughts and stuff like that. We tend to try to do things in the masculine way. That's what the Spirit's sharing with us. We try to do what everybody else has done before it was written in books.
Right.
The girls doing the tarot, they would read the books. And people that go to school read the books that men write. And business is run by men. So the women tend to, and everybody tends to try to operate and run their thought process, their life, their stuff on a man's belief system. And it doesn't work very well for half the population.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I admire you and did you have any fear in all of this stuff that, stepping through and doing this, or did that not ever come up for you? Like, because I know you're in your 60s, right? So you grew up in that generation that you respected your father, your elders.
Yeah, and got married at 17, and at 23, I had my first midlife crisis.
Right.
Because the church was failing me. The church was having splits. There's always different problems. The fairy book story that I read about and everybody told me about wasn't existing in my life, but I couldn't tell anybody anything because that just wasn't done. You just don't do that. And my mom put up a lot of abuse and stuff too. And she's growing up, and she just said, you got to do what you got to do, and on. And 23, I'm at a midlife crisis here at 23, right? I still got the job barely, but I'm separated. I'm out on a riverbank with a motorcycle, and somebody comes by with a motorcycle and this girl in the back with a blue negligee. And I can't remember anything except that guy and that girl in the negligee, but I don't remember their names or much detail because I was 23 and I was drinking. But I followed them behind to a group of Hell's Angel types that was partying, and I kind of partied with them a little bit, and I kind of thought, well, this is different, I mean, my whole church upbringing, everything else, and now it just crashed about me. So I, of course, took me a while to recover from those choices.
Right.
I did manage to keep the job barely. I was lucky that way. It was easy for me to do, just easy, even though it was a more difficult job for some people. But it was no, but I won't go into that. But it was something that I had to have a federal clearance for and everything else. So it's really amazing I was able to keep the job. And around 30, when I decided I got to straighten up, the boss said, this is a good job. You should probably straighten up and fly straight. And so I decided to try to really, try harder at work. I'm going to go ahead and show up on a regular time and put some effort, make some suggestions. I changed a few things, and next thing I'm in supervision, and that allowed me to get into a talking head gig where I spoke for the company, and I got to stay in nice hotels, and I had a nice Mustang rental car, and I had to keep my nails done, keep my hair done, keep my weight down, wear heels a lot.
Right.
But it provided a lot of income, and I could have stayed there. But my plan was to retire at 45, so I went back into the blue collar for the last 2 years. And with the union, they got the early out. I was one of the last of the early outs to get this golden parachute thing. But we always talked about them in the past tense. They didn't know they were being removed.
Right.
That's how it kind of works sometimes. The people don't realize what's going on until it's too late. But anyway, tarot deck. So I'm doing tarot at the place. I'm having a great time.
Right.
I'm learning a lot of stuff from the other ladies. I made some good friends there. Still friends now. I decided I got sidetracked for falling in love once. I ended up in North Carolina. That didn't quite work out very well. I joined the women's club there, and there was a Baptist church in every corner,
Yes,
cemetery.
there is.
Yeah, and the women's group had a man open up prayer and stuff all the time. I think I'm a little confused here. I said, I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm not sure how this happened, but I can't do this. And anyway, it didn't work out. I moved back to Tulsa and continued what I was doing. So Arkansas, Tulsa, and then a pseudo daughter type convinced me I should go to Florida. But to be honest, I had my birth chart done, and it said I would find true love in Florida. And what the hell, I haven't been in Florida before then, so let's go try it out. So I came down and started hanging at a little bookstore for a little bit there, and I was having a good time doing some few things. And the daughter decided to move to St. Petersburg. So I moved to St. Petersburg also and got my own place, a roommate type situation, till I figured out what I was going to do. And turns out that Florida, for whatever reason, it could be the ocean so close, it could be a lot of different things, but for whatever reason, the gifts are they flow easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just I can blame it on the heat. You know how molecules move faster when they're hot?
Yes.
Yeah, water moves faster when it's hot. Maybe the spirit does the same thing,
You're about to buy a new house too, aren't you? Didn't I read that?
Yep, I'm on my third one here. I've been buying them, and the first one I bought, I thought I'm going to stay there, but I felt I had to leave St. Pete. I was really thought it'd be better. I liked over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold that one, didn't make much money, but made a little bit of money. And I bought one over here. And then I started fixing up, and I really enjoyed it, and I made it mine. But I needed a bigger driveway for my wave runner and my toys and stuff.
Right.
And the motorcycles and the things I bought. So I had to sell it because they wouldn't let me add it to my driveway. They had a moratorium on green space. I said, you're going to make me sell the house just so I have a driveway? That's crazy. But I did. And so I bought the one I'm in right here, which I'm speaking to you in. And that one I got a really good price. And it hadn't been touched since 1990 or something. I mean, it had the original carpet and stuff and original appliances. I swear, I think I got the appliances from the 70s from the thrift store. Anyway, replaced all that, and it turned out, and I sold that, and I made quite a profit. And an hour later, after I decided I got this one, somebody made me a good offer on it. Might have been a little bit more, but at the same time I made offer, I had a chance to buy another one at $30,000 under market. So I bought that one, and I'll be moving that one this weekend.
Sometimes I think you should teach women about real estate too, because there's very few women in real estate, buying and flipping and doing the rental business and stuff like that. They don't know. Again, there's another man's job, quote unquote. I mean, women are okay to sell the house, but to get into the nitty gritty of owning it and flipping it and, rehabbing, always a man's job.
Yeah, but girls are really good at seeing the colors and knowing what people like.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing, yeah. And this get me in trouble, but a man usually thinks in much more concrete ways, black and white, yes and no. They take a book like the Bible, that's the rules. The general says this, okay, we'll do that. Well, women probably most of the time we overthink everything, but how's this going to affect my great 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 granddaughter, right? If I do this, if I buy potatoes today, oh my God, what's going to happen to her? Will this change the DNA and change the world? On just all the different layers that women see. But when I look at a house, I can see it and I can visualize it and I can think of the colors that's going to make people feel better about themselves and different things. But I try to hire neighbors and stuff that are retired that have good skills already and would like a little something to do, and I overpay them, and we have a good time. And so that helps the economy around me and also helps me a little bit too. But I certainly didn't plan to get into the flipping house business. It just kind of fell into my lap like everything else.
Right.
Again, because I never really worry about money. And it always seems to work itself out, which some of my friends still don't understand why I do that. They said, you bought 5 motorcycles last 2 years. Yeah, I did. Yeah, and you lost money on those. Well, yeah, but I had fun. I liked it for a while. And then I tried something different. I'll try something different after that because it's fun.
Yeah. And if you don't, that's the key principle right there to life is not worry about money or anything that you don't, Why worry about it? You know, if you believe with the spiritual energy and manifestation or whatever you call good luck,
Yeah.
it comes to you if you
Yeah.
stay on a high flying disc.
Okay, let's look at this. We live on a planet that's spinning around an exploding planet called the sun. It's
Right?
spinning around out here in space, and gravity holds us in place. And we got all these trees and plants and animals and water and rain and sun, and but still it's a spinning meteorite in the middle of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet we worry about the simplest little silly things, like it's a miracle we're even here. I mean, how does this really even exist? Yeah, then I worry about what my boss thinks about me, or what the neighbor thinks about me, or what the girl in the office thinks about me, or well, anybody thinks about me. It's like, well, okay. But since I am on this planet going around this exploding planet called the sun, there must be a reason of some sort why we're here. And I kind of figured out that it's kind of a learning experience, a kind of a training, learning, or just it's like a big spiritual vacation like thing. And we're here for a certain amount of time and we're gone. Now, if I was going to hire somebody to deliver something for me, especially on a regular basis, I'd provide the transportation and the gas money and make sure they got the stuff delivered I need delivered. Or if I hire somebody and I need carpet or whatever, well, I'm going to make sure that I pay for the carpet and pay for the transportation on. Now, the Spirit put us here and we're all here. I'm pretty sure that somebody had figured out that there's going to take some money or something to make that happen.
Right.
So if I'm doing what the Spirit wants me to do, the Spirit will provide the finances to pay for the gas that get me across the town to do what I'm supposed to do, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love the adventures that you have pretty much on a daily basis. And I wanted to ask you something. What is New Earth Television? Is
Oh,
that something you created?
yeah, I created it a while back. Again, heard a voice and the dreams that said, help women's voices be heard. Women's voices not being heard. So I started looking for people that want to be in a radio, and I started doing a radio broadcast using one of my computers, and just went out on one of the servers. And I didn't charge people to be on the radio because the voice said, help women's voices be heard. They didn't say charge them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just said do it. So I started doing radio podcast like stuff, sort of like what you're doing, except you're doing video now too. So I started doing that, and I got a few through LinkedIn, and I was doing that, broadcasting that, and out some different servers, and I kept my computer running and on. And then I realized, well, I probably should come up with a little bit better way of doing that. So I tried some cloud approach for a little bit here and there, but eventually I realized that women do much better to be able to see the faces and expressions and hear the voice. That just hearing the voice isn't enough. You need to see in the background and see the glow coming from the person and see if it's somebody you can trust or not trust. I mean, we're going to look at all these different stuff. So the most effective way would be a video. If I can't be in person, we do videos. So I changed the shows to videos, and basically it's a little television. And I created it for women by women originally, but it was to bring a voice to the new earth that's developed and is changing and growing, that right now somehow people think is a bad thing. But as we evolve as a species, communicate with each other, this seemed like the best stuff. So I started doing that, and I had different hosts on and stuff. Again, no charge, just doing it. And I also found that at one time I paid to be on internet radio, and I paid like $300 a month, and they showed me these numbers, but the numbers were generated by them clicking it, to make it seem like bigger numbers what it really was. And
Right.
You just really couldn't find it. So I come up with an idea to use all these different platforms. So the audio part goes to, well, probably 30 or 40 platforms now, different titles and some of them and stuff, just get out that way. So when Google looks, or when you look for something, you Google it, it'll pop up. But eventually I decided it's probably time to retire. I'm in Florida. Maybe it's time to retire. And I started getting in this retirement mode. I said I am past my mid-60s now. And apparently Spirit doesn't want me to retire, even though I semi-retired that. A Dream Vision 7 called me up a few different times and said that she had a dream that was helping them on their help them produce their shows. So before you know it, I'm working with Dream Vision 7 on theirs. I'm producing some of their video shows for them now. So you'll see that.
Yeah, I saw. So yes, I have that. I have both links in the description for people to click on. And what is this Dream 7? It's radio and television?
It's video, YouTube video, and radio. They're out of Maine, so I access their computer in Maine through my my computer here in Florida, and then using Zoom, people call in and Zoom in, and we do these shows, and then it's being broadcast live to their radio station and their different platforms, and going YouTube live at the same time. And then I might do a quick edit for the YouTube for them later if there's a slow start or something, but simultaneously broadcast on their radio and also YouTube live. And I'm doing that for a few shows, and they send a donation.
Oh,
Thank you.
nice.
Yeah. And then more recently, the Unity Church, I started going there a little bit during the pandemic and went overlooked. Some of my friends in St. Peter go in the Unity Church there. So there's one here, and somebody said, you should try it out. So I went over and never could figure out when they're open because there's never no sign that said when they're open. And one Sunday I saw cars, so I went over and walked in. And it was a little different than I used to, but they had somebody speaking that did tarot. I go, oh, this might be good. Okay. But their sound was terrible. Somebody had a smartphone, but not a very smart one, kind of a less smart than normal smart. And their filming on Facebook was so fuzzy and stuff, and I couldn't really say what it was, and it kept stuttering and doing this thing they do, you know. It's like, oh Lord, can I help you? Let me help you. Let me use my phone. Put my phone on the stuff and did it, and so live streamed it on Facebook for them. But I said, if I'm going to do this, let's do it a little bit better. So then I went ahead and added some artificial trees and plants and some wall hangings and different things, changed out their lighting system so you could see it better and it sounded better. And then made him a website for the church, and then made a website for the pastor. And I separated her little sermonette separate from the church. And I put them on YouTube and I put them on their websites. And then I shared on newer television too, to share the little messages a little bit further out. And I do that again, for because it's easy.
So when do you sleep?
At night, usually about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I got a call yesterday, Friday. Yeah, I was out lunch with a girlfriend, and I get a phone call. Apparently, the pastor Unity Church told some pastor from some church in Daytona what I do, and she wanted to know if I could help them. And they're starting a homeless cafe thing, helping homeless people, help drug people, and help handicapped people by providing resources and apparently coffee also. So I agreed to help them. And so yesterday, past my bedtime, I made them a website real quick. What do they call themselves? Can't remember. But they're forming it in Daytona, and it's got about 7 or 8 different churches and groups supporting it as they're trying to get it by a recovery cafe. Something about recovery cafe.
Oh, nice.
I made it for them. It's a nice little website. And they don't have a building yet, but I only do so much. But I started sharing that too to get them people. They're trying to make it work. So I guess I'm helping homeless ministry out again.
Wow. You come back full circle there.
Yeah, I told them I don't want to show up and do this on a regular basis. Let me just help you on the social media and the website. Of course, I'll have to stop by a couple of times to get some pictures and see what they're doing. But yeah, apparently you can't retire. I want to retire, but people still call me, message me, need a reading.
Do you still do readings too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do readings, and I always carry around with me. Let's see if I got it here. Everybody should keep a little pouch in their purse, right?
Yes. Have your pouch with you at all times.
And pendulums.
And pendulum. Oh, I like your pendulum. I got one like
right?
that. It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
You can say, oh, look, my arm fat. Okay, I am 67. You can say, go clockwise, and it'll start going clockwise on you, Right. So I use this to manifest, to show people how you can manifest what you want. I go counterclockwise, and it'll turn around and it'll go counterclockwise.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Real easy to do. Yes or no's, answers, that sort of stuff. But what I usually use it for is to show people, I did that in Tulsa too. You can manifest what you want. If you have the power to make this little pendulum turn around by your thoughts, you should have also the power to change your life around, spin your life around. So I work on chakras, tarot, channel. I try not to channel much. It's sometimes messy. I channel one dead person. Once, of course, you channel dead people, right? That's what you do. I was doing a ghost whispering gig with this ghost hunting group in Tulsa for a little bit. Anyway, I got hired to work at this therapy office to help people with past loved ones. And I picked up some really sad people. And I picked up the spirit of this woman who had cancer, got better, and she went in for some cosmetic surgery and she died.
Wow.
She was really pissed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She was getting some work done because her daughter was getting married, and she was looking forward to the wedding, but she had to make herself look a little better. And then she couldn't believe that she died on the operating table after all that cancer and everything else she beat, and just to die that way. So they wanted to talk with her, and so I opened that channel and started letting her speak through and stuff. And she was very angry, very unhappy. And she was unhappy at the wedding because the picture was faced the wrong direction. She couldn't see the wedding. Her picture was faced towards people coming in. So she bitched about that. And
people don't realize, but over on the other side, they do take their personality with them, and they will bitch and complain, right?
Yeah, and not everybody wants to go to the light either.
No.
I'll tell you that. Go to the light. Go like the freaking. I can't say the F word. I'm used to hanging with motorcycle people. But basically, funk you. I'm not going, right?
Yeah.
Some have something they want to see happen first. They want to take care of some business. Some are afraid they're going to go to hell or something. They're afraid they don't deserve to go to that place. They're going to, so they just kind of sit there.
Right.
And this particular spirit, I found myself driving down the road, and I was at a lake above Tulsa there. And I called my friend who knew this person who died. And I go, did she go to this lake? And she's, oh, she loved that lake. I said, yeah, I just got drove over here. I got to get rid of the spirit out of me. She's trying to take
wow.
But again, learning lesson though, right? Vibration. Yes. Living is a higher vibration than dead. That's why you feel cold when you're around dead things. They're a lower vibration and higher vibration. They really can't control you because you're living and you have the e-ticket ride. Because Disney World's over here. You have, I don't even know if they have e-tickets anymore, but you got the Magic Kingdom pass. You're here. So you have the Trump card. I even hate to use the word Trump now. I thought about it. But anyway, you're living, so they can influence you if you allow them, but they really can't take over because they're dead. But they convince you that they could, then maybe. But so this gave me a chance to really practice that, put into practice what I believe. And I had to remind her that, I'm sorry, honey, you're dead. It wasn't fair. I give you that. But I got a life to live too. So you got to get out of here. Goodbye, sort of thing. And that was one of the last ones I channeled because it got kind of messy. It's like a bad relationship breakup. The ex keeps knocking on the door. In this case, they're inside you. It's like, get the freaking out of here. Okay, call the therapist. Obviously, I'm having some problems with my medication.
So how long did it take you to get rid of her?
It took a few weeks. It really did. It took a while. And I would feel the inkling to do this or do that. And I'd say, no, that's not what I would normally do. Okay, you need to get out. So the basic stuff, go visit somebody who's really good at that kind of stuff to kind of help you do it. A little sage, a little Epsom salt. But basically, you have to say no,
Right.
Just like everything else. You have to say no. It's always yes or no. So what else you want to talk about? So we talked about tarot, channeling, prophets at the church, politics.
Well, I'm just amazed that you retired at 45. You're now in your mid 60s, and you're not you're not slowing down. There's no grass growing underneath your feet, so to speak. You should be on AARP's commercials because, you're this vibrant. Just because we get older. I'm getting older too. We shouldn't slow down and not pursue more dreams, right? Just because you got one dream.
Yeah, and you got to. Okay, we have these bodies that we live in here. We're a spirit being. There's 7 chakras on our body, right? You know about the chakras?
Yes.
And so that means there's 7 spirits in each of us, basically. This spirit controls this part. This spirit controls this part. Or is it one entity that controls all 7? I kind of like to think of there's 7 different spirits operating each of us. And when one gets damaged for whatever reason, it doesn't work well, the other ones kind of compensate from the different stuff. But anyway, we're pickup trucks or convertibles or different things. These bodies are physical bodies that are made from this earth, that belong to this earth, they don't do well. If you take them out air and stick them in the bottom of the ocean, they don't do very well at all. You can't take them and put them up in space without a bunch of equipment and stuff, environmental controls to make that happen either. These bodies work really well here on this planet. And some bodies work better in high altitudes and low altitudes and, all the different stuff and then the spirit entity or whatever put us here provides for us with vegetables and flowers and plants and animals and whatever you like for eating and drinking and stuff. And the body does quite well here. Okay. Your spirit is limited sometimes by your body. If you don't take care of the body, it's like having a pickup truck with a bent rim. You kind of wiggle as you go down the road a little bit.
Right.
You might have a cracked windshield. You can't see very well, so you're hanging your head out the window trying to make it go, and you tend to go left more than you want to go right. Or you could be completely messed up and not hardly even moving. Your headlights barely come on, but you're still here, and you're still trying to operate this body as a spirit. So it is important to kind of keep an eye on some of the body functions, and part of that is being grounded and being part of the earth and realizing it and taking time that the body needs for healing, for your sleep and different things. That helps. Also, I found medication has some nasty side effects. And, once you get a certain age, they start giving you a lot of pills. Oh, you're diabetic, or your blood pressure's up, or your cholesterol's up, or something. I swear they lower the limits every year so they can sell more pills. I believed in for a little bit with the diabetes, so I started taking some diabetic medicine because I really liked ice cream and stuff. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And it's not good for me. So I changed the diet a little bit, but I was taking medicine, the blood sugar is getting too low. And so I'm eating carbs to keep the blood sugar from going too low so that I can still see, because going blind when the blood sugar is too low is really a bad trip altogether. And then the headaches and stuff along with it. So I'm taking the medicine and I'm eating so I don't have low blood sugar. And this is like really crazy. But I stopped taking it. And lo and behold, 90% of my aches and pains went away.
Wow.
Side effects.
Yes.
So I've had side effects to different things over the years that I've taken some medicine for this and that. So I've kind of said, I don't want to take your medicine. Now, if I break an arm or something serious, well, then I'm going to go to the doctor and I'm going to get it worked. But otherwise, I'm going to really try to watch the diet and exercise and take care of this body how it's meant to be. You can only put so many additives in your fuel tank before there's no gas left.
Right.
And that helps people that, I did work with my friend's used car lot for a little bit and tell us about that. So I picked up some car analogy.
So with that being said, I love that you brought that up, how important it is that we're spiritual beings in these human bodies, and that we kind of have to take care of them if we're going to plan on living out in our older age without any aches and pains.
Right. Well, this aches and pains from medications or illness will slow you down, which is going to create more weight and more aches and pains. And we need to move. If you don't move, you don't do very well. Body's designed to be upright, moving. It is necessary to lay down and take your sleep, be a good sleep, which is very important. And in my case, sleep is when the spirit visits me one of the strongest times. And I have some pretty bizarre dreams and stuff. And mostly those dreams have been real beneficial if I pay attention to them. I have a friend was on my network for a while, and she's over on Dream Vision 7 now. She's been on the Doctor Show and some of the TV shows and stuff. She's the queen of dreams. That's Kat Cannabis. And her whole thing was dreams showed her that she had cancer. And no matter what the doctor said, the dream showed she had cancer. She needed to get that fixed. And so she insisted they do exploratory surgery, and they found the cancer that they wouldn't have known otherwise. So I was working with her a little bit, dream interpretation. That's kind of fun. And I would share my dreams with her sometimes when she needed something to talk about. I got some doozies.
What kind of dreams?
Oh, no, we're not going there. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
But it's the dreams that got me doing the radio. It's the dreams got me doing newer television. It's the dreams that show me how to fix on cars. It's the dreams that show me that the house, the next house, and the vision, which the house is going to be to one on the river, to the intercoastal here eventually. Those are dreams that show me, where I'm going and stuff.
Right.
Those are easy ones. Sometimes the more involved ones, like the buildings that keep growing and stuff like that, that's a little bit more involved. It takes a little bit more effort to analyze those. But if a dream comes back 3 or 4 times, it's time to pay attention to it.
Right. Do you pay attention to numbers that you see too as well?
Not as much. I know I have friends that have been numbers. I would say, remember, we love to put the 666 as being bad. You notice my tarot deck, the devil is me. Because the devil really, most of the time, is ourselves. We're our worst enemies. We're the ones always causing our problems because we don't believe in ourselves and we don't believe in others and stuff. We are the antagonists in most of our own stories. But
I got you there.
The 666 and then the 777 usually represents God. But I think it's interesting that our chakras are 7, not 5. 5 usually represents mankind, womankind. But we have 7 chakras, which means 7 spirits, which means we are God.
Right.
God's operating us. We are an image of God.
If you add 666 up, that's 18, which is 9, which is humanity.
Yeah. I told you, we're worst enemies. We're the ones causing the wars. We're the ones who are greedy, want more than we should take. We're the ones that are willing to sacrifice somebody else's health and happiness for our own gain. Right?
I know.
We don't need a devil for that.
No.
We don't. We got that covered. We got that part covered pretty good.
Yes, we do. We got to start being nicer to each other and
well, we foster that in our training in school. We teach competition and school spirit. Rah rah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have done my nails. I did bowling today. Could you imagine? I did bowling.
Did you go bowling today?
Yeah, my girlfriend taught me going bowling, and that's like I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, that's rent. You use somebody else's shoes and put your fingers in somebody else's ball.
Rachel, you're bad.
So I said, if you really want to do this bowling thing, I guess I'll do it. So I went and bought my own freaking ball, shoes, and a little bag to put it in. So I went today with the girls and we went bowling.
It's fun to go bowling. So, what's the any single men over there on that side? Are you trolling while you're bowling?
No, I'm not.
What's going on?
I'm not looking. There? See, I don't need sort of. We spend way too much time trying to find somebody to fulfill us when we already filled ourselves.
Right.
I don't have any problem with men knocking my door, especially around here because they think I'm a rich bitch. I mean, right? They see all the stuff lined up in the driveway. They go, "Wow, okay." I had one old guy coming by the other day. Says, "That's a nice looking Chevy truck. That looks real expensive. Is that real expensive?" Well, you think $55,000 is expensive? Oh my God, really? Yeah, but I make payments on it. It's not paid for. Oh, that's a nice looking truck. You got some nice stuff. Yes, I do. Thank you so much for noticing. Now, please move along. Like when I lived in the motorhome, I traveled the motorhome for a little bit when I did this stuff. And every time I stopped at the gas station, some homeless type man would come knock on my door. Hey. No, I'm good. Thanks. In that church, just pick a man. Just pick one. That's fine.
Right?
I don't need one. I'm good.
Well, you said that when you were when you got led to come down to Florida, that spirit said you would find Mr. Right down here. So I was just
said I would find love. It was said I would find love.
So you found love with yourself then?
Probably, yeah. Oh, I have some really good friends and stuff, and I'm working on a relationship that we probably shouldn't talk about on air because that's the last thing I need to hear back from that, but.
Well, let's don't talk about that.
I do know when I did commercials for Arkansas, I found my videos with Arabic lettering and stuff below it. I'm not sure exactly why they thought my videos were something they needed to interpret at the time, but they were doing it for some reason. And I know that some of the stuff I wrote before it showed up all kinds of places. Oh, one time I did you know how you use your phone and you can make a critique on a restaurant or something, especially years back. I'm talking years back now. I said one restaurant, I just love the food. It's a cute little place. And so I wrote kind of a nice review on it. And it was someplace I pass every so often, but not on a regular basis. It was in North Dakota. I'm not usually in North Dakota. I come back to North Dakota one time, stop at the same restaurant, and they go, "Oh, you're Rachel Love, the food critic. Oh my God, thank you so much. That article came out, and we've had such business since you did that." Somebody had copied my stuff and pretty much verbatim put it on a magazine for rate their restaurant. You know, they were rated number 2 in North Dakota or something. It's like, I said, you know, that's how it works. You know, you put something on the internet. I really didn't plan that be food critic, but they gave me a free meal. Okay, well, thanks.
Wow.
Another place I did for small town, I did a website. So every time I go there, they give me free coffee. They give me credit for making their town grow. A small little town. Really.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever gone to like a restaurant and nobody's there, and the minute you sit down, all of a sudden 20 other people come in?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I got that same problem too. Like the minute I sit down, here comes 20 other patrons into the restaurant, and you thought it was quiet and desolate, and then here you go, boom.
Well, you're manifesting that, so you must be feeling kind of lonely sometimes, and so
I guess so.
You know, we manifest a lot of stuff. I showed you that little rock on a string, but we're constantly manifesting things, good or bad. We're manifesting things. And this is something I probably should share while we still got a few more minutes. If you spend a lot of time thinking about the past, and you do that when you get older, believe you, because you don't remember what you did yesterday, but you remember what you did in your 20s. You spend a lot of time thinking about the past, manifesting the past. You're still going to be manifesting it because you're thinking about it. Your thoughts are basically your prayers and your wishes. Your thoughts are creating stuff around you all the time. So if you spend a lot of time thinking about your past, maybe it was a bad past. You're going to keep creating that bad past over and over and over and over and over again. If you think about the future too much, you're not going to be able to live here because you're going to be too spacey. And I come close to that a lot of times. If you manifest and you concentrate on being here at the present time, which you have, you're going to manifest the best present time you can, because you have nothing tells you what it can be, it can't be. You have nothing you have to do before it becomes good. There's no future. You're right here. You'll manifest by keeping your thoughts presently, what you're up to now, what you're thinking out, and what you're feeling in love inside you now. You're going to be manifesting that and be a much happier place.
I got you. So our show goes on till 9:30.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, Lordy.
Are you tired? We can end it at 9 if you're tired tonight.
Yeah, if we could, if you don't
We
mind.
sure can. I totally get it. I understand. I know you've been busy out there. You got a new puppy. You got, an extremely busy life. And I'm just so thankful that you agreed to come on here and talk to me, because I've been wanting to have you on here since I started back in March. So
Yeah, I'm glad you started back again. And I'm sorry it was harder to get a hold of, and I got busy. I had something going on that was an emergency that I couldn't make it last time. I came real close. Oh, yes. Motorcycle. Got a flat tire on the motorcycle.
Yes, I remember.
My new motorcycle got a flat tire. I went to a motorcycle event, and as I came home, I got a flat tire. And I said, really? And because it's an old-timey looking motorcycle, it's a Triumph, they still had tubes in the tires. I have the kits to plug the holes if you get the record. No, this is a tube-type tire. Lordy, who gave that idea? That's like ancient stuff. But anyway, so I'm sitting on the side of the road in Daytona, and sun's setting, and it's getting dark, and I go, huh. But it's not like the old days. Now you just pick up your phone and you call Uber, and they come get you. And
right.
I picked up my truck and trailer, went back and got it. And what the hell? It's insured anyway. So
I got you.
It was time consuming.
So, Rachel, what is one thing you'd like for our listeners to take away from this evening?
Oh, have fun with your life. All things are possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Well, we are so grateful and thankful that you came on tonight. I hope that in the future you'll come back on again.
We should do that again. Hold on. I just heard, got to share an Oracle card with you.
Okay.
I got to listen. Oracle deck. Oracle decks are kind of fun. They kind of teach a kind of spiritual lesson type thing. This is a beautiful one here. I love this Oracle deck. But let's just do this again real quick.
Okay.
We'll just pull these cards through here. Can you see them?
Yes, I can.
All right. And we got one card for everybody for this show tonight. So this card, it's one below it. Is it one below it? Is that it? Are you it? No, it's one below that. Hold on. This one? Yep, there it is. That's the card. Releasing allegiances.
Oh, wow.
Can you guess what that means?
releasing old thoughts that are, things that no longer serve us.
Yes,
And we're not tied to any one thing or purpose.
right. You know, don't believe everything
Nice.
you're told, everything you read. You're reading stuff written mostly by men. It works better for men, but it really hasn't worked very well because we still have more freaking wars than we can stand. We still have people killing themselves over and over again. We still have pollution on Earth. We have all these different problems because we've been following this old pattern. It's not really an effective pattern. It's not meant for us. Women create a life on the planet. Women are about love and life. And let some women make some decisions for a change. And listen to your own self, and you'll make the biggest difference. That's what the Spirit shares with you, everybody.
All right, Rachel. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. And again, I hope to have you on in the future and catch up and see what's going on. And I wish you many blessings.
Thank you. Do I turn this thing off or you do it?
I'm going to turn it off. Good night,
Bye.
everyone. Have a great night.